Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Andres SG with a new combo tutorial. Today I'm going to show you two basic combos with the Melodious part of the Voiceless voice. Starting with Ostinato. Ostinato is pretty much a random fusion, but I think it's kind of better because it won't lock you from your extra deck. Is also no one's return, right? The only thing you have to keep in mind is like this is probably the first thing you need to do. Like the first action you need to do because you can only activate if you control no monsters, right? So again, this is an Ash bait or like any other hand trap bait, right? All right, let's do it. So we're gonna activate our Ostinato, going for the new Bacha by fusioning two refrains from the deck. Just to keep in mind, if you open one refrain, you have to use the one in your hand because you want to keep the third copy in the deck, right? So we can trigger our Bacha Melodious. When she special summon it, you can special summon our third Bacha from the deck. Right, so when refrain is special summon it, we can trigger it to search for any Melodious monster. So we're gonna add our couplet. So our couplet is like popular when is added to the hand. We can trigger it and a special summon a Melodious from your hand or graveyard. This case is going to be the graveyard, right? Now have another cool effect. When this card is in a scale zone, we're gonna activate it and search for our polymerization. This card is pretty cool too because it keep recycle. It recycles itself when uh, Melodious Fusion is a special summon it, and we can fusion summon using material from the field. This case we can use our monster zone and our pendulum zone, so that's actually pretty cool. We're gonna use this two refrain and couplet and special summon Bacha. So our pendulums have another effect, so three effects, right? When a fusion Melodious is summoned, we can actually put them back in our scale. So we complete our scale right here, 1 to 9. In my deck profile version, I'm not playing Diviner, but I think I'm going to try to play Diviner because again, this is a one card combo that it doesn't require your normal summon. All right, so even if you normal summon something or like you have normal summon, you can if you have Diviner in your hand, you can pendulum the Diviner, which is actually pretty cool. All right, so now we're gonna XYZ. We have two level 7s on the board. We're gonna go for our pendulum Absolute Dragon. So for those who don't remember, this card was used, I think, in the Pepe era. I think no, Magician. I'm sorry, Magician Pendulum era. When this card is sent to the graveyard, we can special summon any allies from your exile as long it can be special summoned. So our two targets as Vortex and the Meteor Burst Dragon. So now Tenpai is a thing again. This card is kind of relevant. I don't know how strong it is. Again, haven't really tested much against Tenpai, but it's a card to to keep in mind to have. It's a good card to have. I'm sorry. So our target for this combo is gonna be Vortex, right? So now we're going to link our Beyond the Pendulum, right? So we're gonna do a four number four chain link number four chain links, right? So this is important. I'm gonna show you how I like to sequence this chain link. It is important to sequence it this way, I guess, to get more the most value. We're gonna trigger all these cards. So I like to trigger first our Absolute Dragon. This can be first or last, but I like to trigger this first. And then we want to trigger our Melodious Concerto. The reason to trigger this is because we want to resolve our Beyond the Pendulum before we resolve the Concerto, right? Because this is going to search our pendulum graph and this is going to add any random card, right? So we don't want to have the chance to draw the pendulum graph and then have this card dead. So we're going to trigger our Concerto, and we're gonna trigger our pendulum, Beyond the Pendulum, just playing around Ash. But if they haven't activated Ash at this point, then they probably don't have it. But it's always good to be safe. We're gonna pay 1200, and the last thing we're gonna trigger is our Bacha. Again, Bacha have two cool effects. One when it's a special summon it, a special summon from the deck, The other one is when it sends to the graveyard, we can special summon any Melodious from the graveyard. So we want to keep these two open, the two arrows open. So I like to special summon this girl right here, search for our pendulum graph, and add and draw one random card, right? And then the last thing, we're going to special summon our vortex. Um, Things to keep in mind is like if you part of for prosperity, you cannot trigger the fusions, right? Because you can draw the turn you activate the pot, right? So we draw the law. We have a normal summon with this combo. So now, just at this point, you are very open to Nibiru because when you activate the pendulum graph, um, you cannot activate any monster effect or your pendulum scales until you pendulum summon, right? So if they need Viru, they can Nibiru you right here. But again, if they need Viru you, you have a pendulum summon and you have a normal summon. So I think it's alright to be Nibiru right here, right? If they don't Nibiru, then we gonna go crazy right here. We going to do this. The reason to summon this two and the pendulum is because now we can get to trigger our Beyond the Pendulum. A lot of people forget about this card have a second effect that if two monsters are special summon in the arrows with different levels, you can destroy two cards on the field, right? So if you're going first, I like to clear the background, our scales. The reason for that is that if you don't have an open scales, this card is just a vanilla, right? You need to have an open scales in order to activate this effect. So we're gonna destroy this too. Or if you go in second, you can always like clear one card of your opponent and clear one of your back row again to have this guy alive. Now there's two options. A lot of people, it's two level fours. You can play Babushka, you can play Dweller, right? Or you can just link it away. I like to do that. That's what I was doing during the tournament. Just link this away. Go for Masquerena and then get to our Appaloosa with two negations. All right. So right now you have a normal summon. You still have five cards in your hand, and we have one, two, three negations. Remember, um, in order to discard to activate, you have to have pendulums in the exile, which we have one, two, three, and four. So we have this turn, we have next turn, right? It's once per turn. So now we can just like go ahead and normal summon our low that we just draw, or if we have it in the hand, you know, that's it. We're gonna activate, do regular voiceless voice combos, and we're protected. We are not afraid to be interrupted at this point. I don't think, and that's it. That's combo number one. Now I'm gonna show you a combo when you just there's one and two. You can overstand right here, right here. Just go, I guess this. That's it. Anyway, this is the one card combo. Now I'm gonna show you what can you do if you just open our refrain. Again, this combo is not as strong as the one before. We are not going to have our vortex with this version, but again, we can still put a field just with one card normal summon, but we will have five cards in our hand, right? Just maybe hand trap to just back it up. So we're gonna normal summon, active effect. We search, so we don't have anything older in our hands that we cannot trigger our couplet. We're just gonna scale it, but we're gonna search for our polymerization. Polymerization is going to let us fusion summon right here. We're gonna play around Ash, so we're gonna trigger Melodious first, and then our scales. We're gonna complete the scales. One and two, a special summon our refrain. Now, if we link right here, this is gonna go to extra day. Remember that. So we're gonna send our third refrain to the graveyard by using the secret effect of a refrain in the scale zone. Right? We're gonna target our fusion and send our third refrain to the deck. So when this card is sent to the graveyard, we have something to extend. So we're gonna go back and go for pendulum graph. Again, you can go Pendulum Graph or you can go IP Masquerade if you're gonna go simpler. If you're afraid your opponent have like a lot of hands up, you can just go Masquerade and then trigger the Bacha Special Summon, and then you can just pass and thread your opponent with a SP Little Knight, right? Or we can just overextend and complete our combo. We're gonna pay. We're gonna do the same. Going this first. We're gonna pay 1200, and then we're gonna special summon our refrain from the graveyard. We're gonna keep our two arrows open. We're gonna search for the odd eyes and draw one extra card, right? So now we're gonna pendulum summon and our two open scales. Uh, we want to open our scales. And then right here, again, we have two level 4s. We can go Babushka, right? We have a negation, which is okay. Plus, we have a spell negation. If you go to Babushka, your opponent monsters are gonna be, all in defense position unless they link summon. Um, or we can go Dweller, or we can just go IP Masquerena. We can go right here to Appaloosa, or wait until your opponent's turn and go for the SP Little Knight. So you have two options right here. I like to go for the Appaloosa just in case I have any plays in my hand. Like, for example, if you have Low and Zafira, you can just now do your regular voiceless voice combos, right? So again, this is out of one refrain. We have two negations plus spell negations. Another cool effect of this guy have, and a lot of people forget, is like on your opponent's turn, this is a time card. If your opponent special summon from the exile, they're gonna burn for 300, right? So this is important to remember. This is a time card, right? You can just summon this card and let your opponent, it's time. Your opponent's gonna try to like burn or whatever, and then they're gonna start burning for 300 if they special summon from the exile deck. All right, so this is the two basic combos. I'm probably gonna try the diviner version because I think it's just really strong, and I saw like cool combos that you can do with the diviner, and that's it. Just let me know what you guys think. If you have any other cool combos, just let me know. Again, I'm trying to test this as much as possible for the rest of the format. I'm probably going to be playing this at nationals if I get to go. But again, I want to try different versions. I want to try like all the possibilities have to try to build the best version of this deck. All right, thank you guys for watching. Probably see you guys soon. Bye bye.